The hospital room was too clean, every surface gleaming under harsh, unyielding lights. The sterile brightness seemed to erase any trace of comfort, making the space feel more like a stage set for waiting than a sanctuary for healing. The walls, painted a pale, impersonal color, reflected the light in a way that made everything look sharper, colder. The air smelled of antiseptic and unspoken words, a place of waiting, not healing. Every breath carried the sharp tang of chemicals, mingling with the heavy silence that filled the corridors. It was as if the room itself was holding its breath, suspended in a moment that stretched on endlessly.
I lay propped up against stiff white pillows, trying to take a deep breath. It's like climbing a mountain. Each inhale a struggle, each exhale a small victory. My chest felt tight, as if the weight of the room pressed down on me, making every movement an effort.
The heart monitor's beep was the only sound, a lonely reminder of her fragile state. Its steady rhythm echoed through the silence, a mechanical heartbeat that seemed to measure not just her pulse, but the passing of time itself.
I shifted in my chair, searching for words, but nothing came out. My hands twisted in my lap, betraying the anxiety I tried to hide. The silence between us grew, thick and impenetrable.
The room was efficient, not comforting. Only a wilting bouquet hinted at life outside. The flowers, once vibrant, now drooped in the stale air, their colors fading just as hope seemed to fade from the room. Clara watched a petal fall, a metaphor for the pieces of her life slipping away. Each petal that dropped was a silent marker of time lost, of moments that could never be reclaimed.
My visitor, a friend from a lifetime ago, finally moved. The small sound almost broke the spell. For a moment I remembered the world outside these walls, the laughter we once shared, now replaced by uncertainty.
Liam looked older, his face lined with worry and regret. The years had etched themselves into his features, and the weight of unspoken apologies hung between us. He hadn't spoken much, just sat there, a silent sentinel of their painful past. His presence was steady, but the distance between us felt insurmountable. His presence was both comfort and torment, a reminder of a bond that had broken. The memories we shared flickered in the silence, both a balm and a wound.
We're here, in this cold, white room, trying to find the pieces. We search for words, for meaning, for some way to bridge the gap that has grown between us.
The silence between them was heavier than any blanket. It pressed down on their shoulders, filling the space with everything left unsaid. Years of laughter, now replaced by a single shattering moment. The photos on the bedside table were a reminder of what once was, now overshadowed by the present.
I wish I could say something to fix it. I wish I could reach across the distance, but the words catch in my throat, too heavy to speak.
But sometimes there are no words. Sometimes all that's left is the quiet company of shared pain, and the hope that, in time, silence will give way to understanding. Clara described her pain as carrying a bullet. Not a physical one, but something forged from the deepest betrayal. It was as if a piece of cold metal had lodged itself inside her chest, invisible to everyone else, but impossible for her to ignore. Every breath reminded her of its presence, a constant ache that never let her forget what had happened.
It's a wound that isn't just physical. It's a soul wound, one that seeps into every thought and memory. The pain is everywhere, my chest, my mind, my spirit. I feel it when I wake, and it lingers long after the world has gone quiet.
The ache was constant, flaring with every memory, every echo of his voice in her mind. It was as if time itself had slowed, forcing her to relive the moment of betrayal over and over again, unable to escape its grip.
I know I fired the shot. I can't take back what I said, no matter how much I wish I could. My words were just as deadly as any weapon. They cut through her, leaving wounds no doctor could see. I see her face from that day, the trust shattering in her eyes. That moment haunts me, replaying in my mind like a nightmare I can't wake from.
Now, seeing her attached to wires and monitors, the reality of his actions was crushing. The weight of guilt pressed down on him, heavier than he ever imagined.
The doctors can steady my heart, keep my body alive, but they can't cure the memory of a trusted voice cutting deep. That pain lingers, untouched by medicine.
The bullet in her heart was made of his betrayal, a wound that no surgery could remove, no apology could heal.
My body is screaming the truth my mind can't process. The pain is overwhelming, and I don't know how to silence it. It's a cry for help, a desperate plea for someone to understand the depth of my hurt.
She wondered if this bullet could ever be removed, if healing was possible, or if she would carry this pain forever, or if it was now a permanent part of her. a scar that would shape every heartbeat from this day forward. Words have power. They can build or destroy in an instant.
Now those words echo in the sterile silence. They're the ghosts of a friendship that died. I remember every syllable. They play on a loop in my mind.
I said things I didn't mean. Intent doesn't matter, the impact does.
The impact was catastrophic, creating a chasm of hurt.
I replay that conversation, wishing I could take it all back. Words, once spoken, take on a life of their own.
He underestimated their lasting power. The weight of what was said destroyed trust, the foundation of any relationship.
Rebuilding trust is monumental. It takes more than an apology.
That was the challenge they now faced.
I'm sorry.
The words felt impossibly large in the quiet room. Forgiveness is hard. It's not a switch, it's a journey.
Hearing his apology is like a sound from a distant shore. I'm not sure it can reach me.
Forgiveness means letting go of the power the hurt has over you. Not forgetting, not condoning.
I have to ask if I could ever trust him again.
The biggest barrier is the fear of being hurt again.
My apology isn't a magic eraser, it's just the first step.
Forgiveness is a two-way street, built one plank at a time. Both must be willing to walk toward the middle.
Maybe this is the beginning of possibility.
The bridge of forgiveness is fragile, but it can be built. In the end, what truly matters are the people who show up. Those who choose to sit with you in the sterile, uncertain rooms of your life, even when words fail and silence lingers. Their presence is a quiet promise that you are not alone, no matter how heavy the moment feels.
My presence, as painful as it was, meant our bond was worth fighting for. I sat there, holding your hand, feeling every ache and fear, because I knew that sometimes just being there is the bravest thing you can do for someone you love.
Clara slowly began to heal. Each day brought small victories, a deeper breath, a steadier step, a glimmer of hope returning to her eyes. Healing, I realized, is rarely a straight line. Her physical heart grew stronger with every passing day. Her emotional heart, though, mended at its own pace, quietly stitching itself together with every act of kindness and every moment of courage.
Some wounds never disappear, no matter how much time passes or how much we wish they would. They close over, but leave a scar, a silent reminder of what we've endured and overcome.
The scar is not weakness, it's survival, a testament to resilience and the battles we've faced. It's proof that we made it through, even when we doubted we could. Forgiving Liam didn't erase the scar, it made it part of her story, woven into the fabric of who she is now. The pain became memory, and the memory became strength.
Our relationship is forged in regret and forgiveness, not easy laughter. We learn to sit with the hard truths, to hold each other through the storms, and to find meaning in the struggle.
True connection isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for the messy parts too. It's about being there when things fall apart and helping each other find the courage to begin again. We all carry scars, visible or hidden. Each one tells a story of pain, survival, and hope. A story that connects us in our shared humanity. They teach us compassion and strength, reminding us that vulnerability is not weakness, but a source of deep connection.
My scar will always remind me of the bullet I carried and that I survived. It's a mark of pain, but also of endurance, and I wear it with quiet pride.
Even after betrayal, a new chapter of healing and wiser love is always possible. The scars we carry forward become the maps that guide us toward a future filled with hope, understanding, and the promise of new beginnings. The hospital room was too clean, every surface gleaming under harsh, unyielding lights. The sterile brightness seemed to erase any trace of comfort, making the space feel more like a stage set for waiting than a sanctuary for healing. The walls, painted a pale, impersonal color, reflected the light in a way that made everything look sharper, colder. The air smelled of antiseptic and unspoken words, a place of waiting, not healing. Every breath carried the sharp tang of chemicals, mingling with the heavy silence that filled the corridors. It was as if the room itself was holding its breath, suspended in a moment that stretched on endlessly.
I lay propped up against stiff white pillows, trying to take a deep breath. It's like climbing a mountain. Each inhale a struggle, each exhale a small victory. My chest felt tight, as if the weight of the room pressed down on me, making every movement an effort.
The heart monitor's beep was the only sound, a lonely reminder of her fragile state. Its steady rhythm echoed through the silence, a mechanical heartbeat that seemed to measure not just her pulse,